Okay, good evening and welcome to a little bit unusual of a Kirksville City Council meeting, but we're glad to have folks joining us in person today and also remotely, which seems to be maybe the word of the day on this. It's not often we have council members who can't attend or that a majority would be able to, but I really appreciate the flexibility of the council and everybody in the room tonight. Taking a couple of days off and staying at a rustic cabin here at Lake of the Ozarks State Park, but it's always good to be in Kirksville one way or the other. So we'll go ahead and begin with our vision statement and mission statements. Our vision statement: the city of Kirksville will create a welcoming and thriving community as North Missouri Center for Education, Commerce, Health, Recreation, and Culture. Our mission statement: the city of Kirksville offers opportunity for building quality of life and meaningful community through ethical and responsible government. I now ask that you join me for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. I'd now like to invite in BSA Troop 401 to lead us this evening in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stop touching. Stop salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scouts, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Okay. I'm going to let Mary speak for a little bit before I ask for a motion on appointing a chair for the meeting. So Mary, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you for a second.
So as Zach said, I'm very loud, I apologize for that. As Zach said, we typically would have at least 3 members at the dais, but we do have quorum with Mayor Burden participating via Zoom. And so as far as the order of the agenda, most important thing this evening, there are no changes aside from who will be chairing the meeting, which will fall to, most likely, I believe, Councilmember Bansal. But you all will need to take a motion to approve that.
I'll make
Very
a
good.
motion. I'll make a
I'll
motion.
entertain a motion. Go ahead.
I'll second it.
You making the motion, Rick?
I'll second.
Okay.
Okay. Councilmember Steele, any discussion on your motion?
I'll second the motion.
Do you have anything else that you want to add?
Do you have any discussion?
I'm sorry.
Anything you wanted to discuss on the motion?
No.
Seeing no discussion, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of Councilmember Bansal to serve as chair for this meeting, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Councilmember Bansal, I turn chair of the meeting over to you.
Thank you.
So now you're at the motion here to approve the order.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the order of the agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
I'm sorry, could you raise your hands, please? Thank you.
Aye.
All right. You guys have it. Next, we'll do a motion and second to approve the regular minutes of the regular session held on February 23rd,
So moved.
2026. Rick with the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second from Zach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, and we have no information presentation in public hearings. No unfinished business. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to action presentations. We'll have city clerk reading of bill number 2026-05.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Lineage Mailing Services, LLC, DBA Strom, Lineage Connect, to provide printing and mailing of utility statements, the Kirksville Connection, utility delinquent notices, and other necessary customer mailings for 1 year, which will renew for 1 year periods until canceled by either party, provided the funding is approved.
Do I have a motion to approve on first reading?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
Rick first and then Zach second. All right, it's Lacey.
Good evening. In 2023, we began the process of outsourcing the printing and mailing of our utility statements and also our delinquent statements. And our contract with our current vendor was close to the end. So we went out for bids again to see about someone providing the same service to us. We received bids from 6 providers. It was a good turnout on bids. Of those 6 providers, we had 4 that were in a region that was at least 3 to 5 days from mailing before we would get those utility statements. And then we had 2 vendors that were in the state of Missouri, and they were in a 2-day radius for us. And of those 2 vendors, the Kansas City provider, who is Lineage, they could provide everything our current vendor does, but then they also had the best price when it comes to the service that we've asked them to provide. The service that Input Technologies, we've been with them since 2023, and they have been excellent. They provided excellent service. So it boiled down to cost because they can both provide the same type of service, but the Kansas City provider Lineage was 106% less than Input Technologies, who was our current provider. So based on that information, we are asking council to approve this ordinance and have Lineage Mailing Services provide our utility statements and our delinquent notices of about 8,200 statements per month.
Is there any council discussion? Thank you, Lacey.
The only question I would have on the report, Lacey, you mentioned they're 106% less. Is it the other way around, that the other company would be 106% more?
The current vendor, on that statement, I believe it says the current vendor who's provided excellent service submitted a bid 106% higher than Lineage.
Okay. The report said it was 106% less, which would be impossible. But that sounds good. It's in the right order.
Okay,
You said it the opposite way.
okay. I meant that Lineage was less than our current provider by 106%.
But it can't be less by over 100%. That's not a thing.
Okay, well,
That'd be nice.
well,
It'd
yes.
be nice to be free at that point. They'd be paying us.
I see where you're going with that now.
Yeah.
The light bulb came on.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Any additional council discussion?
No.
Any citizen input? All right. Let's see here. Do I have a motion?
You've got the motion. You
But the-
can vote.
Oh, okay. All those in favor say aye. The bill?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we will move to the second item. We'll have city clerk.
Sorry, city clerk, we didn't have second.
Oh, yep, city clerk reading of, the second reading of that. City clerk reading of bill number 2026-05.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Lineage Mailing Services, LLC, DBA Strom Lineage Connect, to provide printing and mailing of utility statements, the Kirksville Connection, utility delinquent notices, and other necessary customer mailings for 1 year, which will renew for 1 year periods until canceled by either party, provided the funding is approved.
Do I have a motion?
I motion.
Rick, second?
I'll second the motion.
All right. So, any additional council discussion? Any additional citizen input? All right, we'll vote on the matter. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to city clerk reading of second resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with David E. Ross Construction Company, Raytown, Missouri, for the replacement of the mechanical bar screen in the Headworks building at the Kirksville wastewater treatment plant.
Do I have a motion to approve on first reading?
So moved.
A second?
Seconded.
First from Rick, second from Zach.
Good evening.
Staff report with Tim.
Good evening. So this is a existing Parks and Bar screen that we have in place right now. It actually was in service in the old plant, and then during the construction phase, it was relocated to the Headworks building where we're utilizing it now. But it's reached the end of its useful life and needs to be replaced. So we reached out to David E. Ross on purchasing and installation for that new bar screen, and that's allowed by the city purchasing policy due to them already being on site and doing a project there now, and they've already been a proven contractor. So they come back with 4 different proposals. We looked all them over and decided on the Custer's Protector model. It's a multi-rake screen, and it also comes with a control panel, and we chose it based on budget. You know, it fits in the budget for the 2026 budget year, and also it has the performance reviews were good, and also has the best warranty feature on it. It has a 3-year parts and labor warranty. So depending on any questions you have, I ask for your approval.
Thank you. Is there any council discussion on the matter?
Tim, could you highlight the importance of the bar screen? Council had a chance to see that in action, understands how critical it is. I'm just hoping everybody in the room can get a sense of that.
Absolutely. So the bar screen is the first part of the primary treatment process, which picks up all the inorganic material, which is rocks, sticks, trash of any sort, anything that's kind of a hard material that don't dissolve, or you can't treat it. So it takes all that out of the system ahead of the pumps, so we ain't burning up motors and burning out seals in the pumps and stuff like that, and replacing a whole lot more equipment than what we would just by replacing the screen.
And thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Tim. Any citizen input on the matter? All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
Well, you do the vote. You do the vote.
Oh, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, now we'll have city clerk reading the second resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of a 2026 Takahauchi TL8 R2 track loader with options and attachments from Luby Equipment Services using the Missouri Department of Transportation's Cooperative Purchasing Agreement Program.
All right. All right, can I have a motion on this?
So moved.
Second?
I'll offer a second.
All right, we have Rick on the first motion, Zach on the second. Any, staff report?
Good evening. This is a planned replacement. It was one of the items that I went over with you guys on a study session. So if there's not any questions on it, I'll just ask that you approve it as read.
And Bill, for the good of the cause, could you tell them which division uses?
Oh, yes, it's for
This
the
piece
street
of equipment.
department uses this. And it, like I said, it was a planned replacement, but it's for the street department. And they use it for various things during the year. Sometimes they use it, to move and load dirt and things like that. And they can run equipment off of it also.
All right, you guys are gonna have to bear with me here. This one is. Is there any other council discussion on this matter? Okay, any additional citizen input? All right, we'll take this to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the resolution passes. We'll have city clerk reading the next resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of a 2026 Caterpillar 260-05 XPS skid steer loader with options from Altorfer Cat, Hannibal, Missouri, using the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
All right, do I have a motion to approve on first reading?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
Get a first from Rick, second from Zach. All right. Staff report.
This also is for the street department. Currently, they have 2 track loaders. This one's going to be a skid loader, which is basically the same thing, only one's got tracks and one's got tires. The reason they wanted one with tires is they found when they're doing their fresh asphalt work and they're on the fresh asphalt with the machine, the tracked machine tended to tear up the asphalt more than what a wheeled machine would. So they have asked to have one tracked machine, which was the one I just discussed with you guys, and then this wheeled machine. Like I said, from the track and the wheels up, it's basically the same thing. It's just how it moves itself.
Any council discussion on the matter? Any additional citizen input? All right, we'll take this to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Thanks, Bill.
Resolution passes. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, we will move into our next city clerk reading of the next resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, accepting the bid from Blue Springs Windwater for the supply of fire hydrants and associated components for the 2026 fiscal year, and authorizing the ability to purchase from the next lowest bidder if supply chain issues arise.
Do I have a motion to approve of first reading?
So moved.
Rick first,
I'll offer a second.
Zach on the second. Staff report will be with Dan.
Good evening.
Okay.
These fire hydrants that are being purchased are used in the City of Kirksville's inventory whenever we replace fire hydrants. They're also used by contractors and developers whenever they make improvements to our system. We have those on stock, on hand, to be used. They're Clow fire hydrants to try to keep uniformity for parts and traffic repair kits.
And the contractors, developers purchase that
Yes,
material?
correct. They can be purchased from us, from the city.
Any council discussion? Any citizen input? All right.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take this resolution to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the resolution passes. We're going to go and move into our sixth item, city clerk reading of the next resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, accepting the bid from Water and Sewer Inc. to supply pipe, valves, fittings, and components for water main construction and repair for the 2026 fiscal year, and further authorizing the ability to purchase from the next lowest bidder if supply chain issues arise.
Do I have a motion on first reading?
So moved.
Rick with the first,
Second.
second from Zach. Staff report, Dan.
Yes, each year the city purchases pipe and fitting materials for use in new water main construction and major repair projects. These are usually parts that we anticipate using during the year for projects. The budget can increase or decrease depending on what our projects are and what the planning is. There's also repair clamps in this and other parts that we use. One thing that stuck out for me this year was the price of the PVC pipe went down, which was good for replacement. But then our other parts went up 20%. So and then copper went up 40%. So as we go forward, we try to really just pick out what we think we're going to need for projects and really watch our pennies on projects. So
I know there's a lot of time spent kind of offsetting those costs, so I appreciate your department's willingness to do that. Is there any additional council discussion on this matter? Any citizen input? Okay, we'll take this to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Resolution passes. We'll move on to the next resolution, the city clerk reading of the Caesar bill. Nope. City clerk reading of the next, is there another one or no? Are we done?
Motion.
Oh,
Item 7.
item 7. Oh, sorry. Motion and second.
So moved.
Rick with the motion.
No motion has been read.
So, yeah, read
Oh.
read the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Motion second to approve the submission of a letter to the United States, is this one right here? Department of Transportation recommending Contour Airlines Option B as proposed by the evaluating committee as a preferred airline and option for city's essential air services. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Rick, and then second from Zach. Staff report with Jeff.
Good evening. As you just mentioned, back in December 22nd, 2025, the Department of Transportation requested proposals from air carriers interested in providing essential air service at Kirksville, Missouri, Marion, Illinois, and Owensboro, Kentucky. Those proposals were open until February 18th, where they closed. During that time, we only received 3 proposals, two from Contour Airlines. They had an option A and an option B. We had one from SkyWest Charter and one from Boutique Airlines. After receiving these proposals, I had already created a committee of nine people to go over those. 2 members from the Airport Transportation Committee, Tourism, Communications Director, Deputy City Manager, myself, and a representative from ATSU and Truman. When we went over the proposals in length, after we had that preliminary meeting, it was a unanimous decision to move forward with Contour Airlines Option B. Option B is providing 12 round trips a week, 7 to Chicago, 5 to Dallas, Fort Worth. That option stuck out most to us because during the proposal process, while it was open, I spoke to 13 different airlines and gave everybody the same spiel of hoping that they would put in a multiple destination bid. Out of the 3 proposals we got, we only had 1 airline actually put in a multiple destination bid. One of the biggest factors in a multiple destination bid would be getting those employments to get us that extra to 10,000 employments and getting us that extra funding for future projects. With Contour Airlines over the past 3 years, we've been able to go above and beyond 10,000 passengers served, but our real goal is how many people we serve from here to those other destinations, not whole round trip. We have seen those numbers increase significantly since going from a 9-passenger plane up to a 30-passenger plane. The only downside with a 30-passenger plane is the Department of Transportation only allows 12 round-trip flights rather than the 21 that the previous airlines have allowed with a 9-passenger plane. This proposal would be a 36-month contract, and it would begin on August 1st, 2026. The proposed ticket price average with both destinations would average around $85 one way. Citizen impact, approval of this motion is in line with Chapter 4, Think Mobility and Transportation, improve regional transportation connections for all modes of travel. This will provide reliable air carrier service and enable more than twice as many destination options when traveling. And it will take a lot of the delays out of the system we have now, with Chicago having a nightmare with getting flights out on time. With this alternate destination, it'll lessen that burden, and we'll actually have more on-time flights with less delays while Chicago goes through their process with their construction projects and gate access. Physical impact, Contour will continue to pay the current rates for the terminal rent, which will go up with the new terminal. Landing fees, hangar rent, and Contour does have a fuel reimbursement agreement with the city.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there any council discussion on the matter?
I just want to
Go ahead, Zach.
I want to thank the committee for reviewing the proposals and really putting some strong thought behind that one. I think it says a lot that they had a unanimous decision on this one. I'm particularly excited to see that this continues to focus on the real purpose of a regional airport, which is to get people connected to the greater world. And by having both an east and a west route, I think it really successfully does that. So I'm hopeful to see where this takes us. I'd love to be able to get to Jeff's goal of those employments. I'm excited to vote for this option tonight.
Absolutely. Jeff, and I know that sorry, were you going to say something? Go ahead.
Excuse me. I was going to say the fuel agreements for the full 3 years, correct?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have I know that Contour, in terms of having somebody at O'Hare, they're working on having somebody to help with the coordination. Are they going to have somebody, in Dallas?
They already do, because they
perfect.
do already operate out of Dallas, Fort Worth.
Good.
So it's not and they actually have their own gate system there where they're not sharing it with partnered airlines.
That's good.
So it again takes another factor out of it with Dallas than what we have in Chicago with, not having to fight for gate spots, not having to compete with American Airlines or United or any of those to get to where you got to go. They have their own set spot.
And potentially cheaper if you're flying
Right.
west versus going to O'Hare and then taking a flight there. So, okay. All right. Is there any citizen input on the matter? Okay.
I do want to just emphasize, this is a recommendation. This is not, the council does not have the authority to, all you're doing tonight is recommending to the federal government.
Yeah.
It's up to the U.S. Department of Transportation to actually make the final decision.
Thank you.
Point being, because it's the Department of Transportation that's the ones paying all of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go ahead and take this to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion passes. All right, next motion, to authorize the destruction of municipal records as shown in the records destruction master list provided and as prescribed by the laws of the state of Missouri. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved from Rick,
I'll second the motion.
second from Zach. Staff
Okay.
report with Mary.
Thank you very much. So this evening, we are asking the council to authorize the destruction of municipal records. It is responsibility of our city clerk. You have established her as the keeper of the records, so she's been working with the departments to ensure that we adhere to the state of Missouri's law regarding records retention. And the law is very specific. It's a laundry list of how long you were to keep records and the length of time, and it breaks it down by department, division, etc. So you do have a list, it's about 3 pages long, that are being proposed for destruction. In that list, it also includes records that were obtained from the former city attorney's office. So those records have also, a number of those have already exceeded their retention life and will also be disposed of.
Thank you, Mary. Is there any council discussion on the matter? Okay, any citizen input? All right, we'll go ahead and take this to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, we are going to be moving on to item 9, to approve the appointment of, is it Mike Bowl to the Lakes Park. Mike, I'm sorry if I said your name incorrectly. Lakes Park and Recreation Commission, and reappointment of Scott Meredith for a full 3-year term expiring January 2029. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
From Rick. A second.
I'll second the motion.
Second from Zach. Staff report with Mary.
So you had already made one reappointment. I believe it was Carol Cox at a previous meeting. Tony Fazana, who had served on the commission for a number of years, had decided that he, due to his work schedule, wasn't able to continue. So solicited applications. Mike Boley submitted the application that was approved by the council to fill that full 3-year term. And then Scott Meredith was also, his appointment should have come to the council at the same time that we brought Carol Cox's, but this was an opportunity to correct that. So Mr. Meredith wishes to serve as well. This will be the first appointment for Mike, and allow you to consider his appointment again. And this will be the last time that Scott Meredith is able to be reappointed without consideration. So with that, I'll answer any questions you have.
Any council discussion? I would like to
Will
say
I
thank. Go ahead, Zach.
I appreciate Scott's work on the commission. He continues to be a strong member of that team and serving it, so I'm glad to see him going for reappointment. And then I've had the opportunity to work with Mike a lot over the years here in Kirksville, and he's very involved with recreation things. I think we had an opportunity to see from his application the extent to which that involvement is, and it'll be of good service to the commission. So I'm glad to see us moving forward on both of these candidates.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you to both Scott and Mike just for taking the time. I know this is an investment of time and it's your commitment to the community. So thank you for stepping up to do that. Do we have any citizen input? All right, we'll take this to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes. All right, and now we're on item 10, the motion to approve the appointment of Cam Benson to the Kirksville Historic Preservation Commission for a full 3-year term ending in February 2029. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Rick with the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second from Zach. Staff report with Mary.
Okay, so this evening, we're asking the council to appoint Cam Benson for a full 3-year term ending in February 2029. This appointment is filling a vacancy from Robert Clement, who had been serving on the commission but is unable to seek reappointment. So the council has reviewed the application submitted, and we're agreeable to present Cam Benson for appointment.
All right, thank you. Any council discussion on this?
I would say I really was warmed by Cam's application. He talked about just wanting to get more involved in our community. And I would say this is a great point to point out to all members of Kirksville who are looking to find different ways to serve, that our boards and commission are an excellent way to do that. I've also seen Cam volunteer for some other stuff recently, so I'll be excited to cast my vote for him.
Thanks, Zach. Anything else? All right, any citizen input on the matter? All right, we'll take this to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, that concludes our agenda. Now we're on the citizen participation, time limit of 5 minutes, but this gives a chance for the citizens to come up and speak. If you can provide your name and address.
My name is Maggie Ramalina. I'm here, I think we need here a new police station and 2 of those things. And let's work together and get a police station and 2 fire department. And get a city hall, a new one. Because we need a new city hall. Because we need everything new. We need to work together and not fight, you know. And like a homeless person came to my house, and all I have is bologna, and I fed him. And he think he was a millionaire. So we need to get those homeless out too. But let's get a new police station and show how we do it, a new city hall, and a new everything we need. Because you look around and people on the TV, radio, got everything new. Let's help the police station and get a new one. So I'm going to tell you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
All right, is there anyone else that would like to come up? All right. You good. All right, is there any council comments?
I might just share, I'm excited that our terminal is going to open this summer. Hopefully we've got a recommendation to the Department of Transportation on expansion of airline services. It just says a lot about the continued ascension of Kirksville and being able to tackle new and bigger things. So big smile tonight on where we're moving forward with things.
Thanks, Zach. I do have something I wanted to bring up. I know with the conflicts going on, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on something that's larger than the city of Kirksville, but deeply meaningful to many of us as Americans. Throughout history, there are moments when leadership is called upon to confront challenges and has often been postponed or avoided, sometimes for decades. And these moments require courage, clarity, and willingness to act when the stakes are high. And while there can be, reasonable people can disagree and have different perspectives, I believe it's important to recognize when leaders step forward to make difficult decisions in the interest of national security and stability, those choices are rarely simple and they carry consequences far beyond the moment in which they are made. And at times like this, I'm reminded especially of men and women in uniform. I have close friends that are stationed overseas, many of whom come from communities just like ours who stand ready to defend our country. And even in a small city like Kirksville, we remain part of a larger story, one that values courage, responsibility, and willingness to do what is necessary to protect peace and freedom. And for that, I believe we can all just take a moment to be grateful of the leadership and the service of our troops as they're going through this, and remembering those that have sacrificed. Thank you. If there's no other council comments, we'll move on to a newsletter review.
Okay, just a few items. I do want to mention the K-Ready annual meeting is tomorrow at 11:30. It'll be on Truman's campus. I will be conducting a new board member training tomorrow as well. So when I go through that training, it's really talking to them about their role and responsibility. Shade went through that a couple of, maybe last year, I think. But responsibilities, and then sunshine law requirements, things, do's and don'ts and that sort of thing. So that'll be tomorrow night. Cap Nemo Child Care Facility is going to begin, they're going to begin renovations, but they did offer a tour of those entities that were providing funding support to come and look at the facility before they started work on it. So I wanted to mention that as well.
Mary, I don't know if we need to notice that up at who's attending, but I am planning to pop by for that.
And I believe we already sent a notice out
that's right,
for
you
that.
already have. Never mind.
We went ahead and did that.
Yeah.
And then just from an operational, well, first I do want to give Jeff LaFountain and his crew outstanding kudos for the completion of Part 139 inspection. This is an annual inspection that all commercial air carrier airports go through to ensure compliance with federal aviation rules and regulations. Safety is a big aspect of that, and so it's safety, it's training, it's making sure records are in order. It's just a lot of components that go into that. It's the facilities, the infrastructure, the runway, the markings, the lighting. So all of those things, and Jeff is gone, but they did an outstanding job. They completed the inspection with 0 deficiencies, meaning it was perfect inspection. Sure, could they have found something? Maybe, but that's pretty impressive. I also want to mention that we only have 4 personnel out there, turnover of 2 individuals over the course of this last year, which meant they all needed to be brought up to the training level that is required, and that was done. So just again, want to thank them all for doing that. Also wanted to mention that our communications director is working on, and maybe you've released it, but the inaugural city podcast. So take a listen to that. And then only other things I wanted to mention, the city received the 2nd year of the Kirksville Blue Shield Community Grant. So that will pay the flock agreement for the next year. And then I think you're looking at vests or some other police equipment.
Aaron, we got awarded the Blue Shield status. They released the grant in July. So
Okay.
That's what we applied for.
All right. And then also just wanted to give a shout out to 2 of our water treatment plant operators. That is Travis Bridgman and Jesse Turner, who recently tested for and received their A license. The A license is the top license for water treatment operators. We have been many years without, we've had, our superintendent has had a license, but our operators have not. That's a big commitment on their part. You have to have a minimum of 5 years of service operating a water treatment plant, and the test is a comprehensive test. It is not simple. It has math. It has all sorts of things that are covered to ensure that they fully understand the operations of the water treatment system. So I just wanted to congratulate them and thank them for taking that step and meeting that challenge and receiving their A licensure. So that is all I have.
I would just kind of echo off of that, Mary, that if you have a chance to go to the water treatment plant and see the individuals that actually run it, it's pretty amazing what they do and the attention to detail. I mean, just as a citizen, I get tap water out and I drink it, and I just know based off the people that are working there, this is safe. So, yes, thank you very much. All right.
You guys do a great job. We really appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the next council meeting, a regular council meeting, will be on Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion and second to adjourn?
So moved.
Rick with
I'll second the motion.
Zach with the second. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you.